Hey traders, Raghee here. Welcome to Charts and Coffee. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Great to see you all. See the comments scrolling in already. All right, so we just had retail sales 30 minutes ago, and it was a miss. And I'm not talking as an intraday trade necessarily, but as a overall view of the way the market's likely to treat, very much in the mold of the miss in consumer confidence. I am looking for the market to fade this. And remember, 8:30 a.m. retail, 1:30 p.m. Powell. So heads up for that today. Tomorrow we have FOMC meeting minutes. And if you haven't already, you can check out the Simpler Trading YouTube channel, and the free video from last night for the options room was about the different catalysts for potential pullbacks this week, which I am looking very forward to. We have a number of trends that continue to be quite strong, and we just need a catalyst for a pullback. And for sure, the next two sessions, this one and tomorrow, are going to be huge for the potential of that pullback that we can buy into. And in that video, I discussed, what those are and where I'm focused on them. So check that out if you're interested. And, that's going to be definitely what I've got my focus on this week. All right. So, and by the way, I just realized in the left margin, usually I have our countdown trader site there, but actually this happens to be the notes. So whenever I'm in a session, those of you that are in one of the rooms probably know this already, I love to keep notes as we're trading so the setups are visible on the screen and so that you have a link of the notes and the discussions and the different points that we had going on. And you can see, here it is right here. 2 days of volatility, retail and Powell today, building permits, housing starts, FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow. And again, from the standpoint of the data, I will be, from a bigger picture, looking to buy daily time frame, overnight swing trading, looking to buy those misses. So just keep in mind, keep your seatbelts buckled, because the volatility could very well be part of the conversation this session and next. All right, so hey there, Dave. Morning. What time frame am I looking at when identifying a trend? So daily time frame. So you'll notice, for example, NASDAQ is on a daily. The end of day print, the end of day chart, the price at which the market closed is the most psychologically significant one. Because think about when our statements or our P&L for the session are just boom, stamped. And that's on the close. So while the daily time frame may not always be the most quote unquote tradable, it is psychologically the most significant. So daily time frame for those larger, big picture, psychological viewpoint and technical viewpoint trends. And then, of course, I'll start using the different indicators that I have. Grab candles, 34 EMA wave, and at the very bottom there, my JT multi. All right. And by the way, what is on this chart? A lot of that, right? We've got propulsion, simpler propulsion, replacing exponential moving averages with a self-correcting smart EMA, grab candles, which stands for green, red, and blue. Green is bullish, red is bearish, blue is neutral. Two shades of colors to denote an up versus down close. So I got propulsion, grab, the 34 EMA wave. I've got an anchored VWAP on this. Actually, I've got 3 anchored VWAPs on this chart. Here's a 200 period exponential prop dot. I've got a volume label down here. Of course, my creation of the V-score, and then JT multi. So this is what I'll use to assess where we are from a trend standpoint, support and resistance, etc. And the other thing that I don't have running on this right now is the Darvis 3.0, which I will put on, but I have multiple layouts for the daily, and this is a really good trend understanding one. So then the question then goes, how far back am I looking, right? So if I know the interval, that's daily, what's my look back? Yeah, 1 to 2 years is fine. 1 to 2 years on the daily is fine, but I don't really need it because, I've got the JT multi here telling me what the trend is. I have the grab telling me what the trend is. So I don't need to view a year at a glance. For example, I don't need to look at September to September to understand the trend because I've got indicators that are doing it for me. Thanks for the question there, Dave. All right. Next question this morning is, good morning. Good to see you all. All right. Good morning. What did I say I was going to focus on? So Jack, the next 2 sessions, this one and tomorrow, we've got the retail sales, aftermath of which is, we got 2 waves for any 8:30 data release. We always have 2 different waves of reaction. The first is at the event, 8:30. The second is at 9:30 when the equity players get to react to what the futures and currency traders had access to at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So with that being said, I'm going to focus on the open for the second leg of the retail sales reaction. And then 1:30, we've got Kapow. That's what I call him, Jay Powell. You guys remember that Kapow when we were growing up in the cartoons? Do I have the Kapow? So anyway, yeah, I'm always looking for, where we have different, boom, there it is, where we have different volatility events. Typically, they're going to be scheduled and on the calendar. So that's what I'm focusing on. What's on the calendar, and which calendar? Well, I'm going to spend time between 2 calendars every day. I want to know what's going on, not just in the U.S. but internationally. That's the Forex Factory calendar, and then I'll also during earnings season keep an eye on the Estimize calendar. So those scheduled events are really powerful to keep an eye on. All right. Thanks for the question. Hey there, Stephen. It's been a minute. What's good? Stephen, I'm not building any positions until we get pullbacks. What's good? Where the pullbacks are. I know my energies are struggling for a little bit of traction, but that's okay. They're within very acceptable parameters, both natty gas, which is a trend follow, and crude oil, which is a fade. Both of them are in allowable parameters. But what's good right now, where the traction is. So where is traction right now? We're scaling out of a lot of these, but traction's very good in gold. We continue to be long gold. We're going to see another move to the upside. And traction's very good in the uptrend in bonds. And we're going to see, that retail sales, we were above once the 165 handle. I'm looking for a surge next to 166. But I like where we are at in a number of these trends. Gold is not a trend. Bonds are. And then I'll be looking to buy trends on dips. NASDAQ, S&P, Dow. I'll definitely be looking for those 3. So that's what's on the radar, but it's been the same thing for a little while. All right, next up is Fatras asks, where can I find my indicator below? Those are in the members. So where can you find the JT multi? It's going to be a part of the bundle. So I don't know if I should be telling you guys this yet or not, but we have a bundle promotion going out. I have to check with Trish, but I think it's today or really, really soon. So we have a bundle promotion coming out, and then the JT multi is going to be added to the bundle. That means if you've bought the bundle in the past, I always go back and update a newer version or an additional piece that's relevant to that package. So the bundle, the JT multi is in the bundle. And if you already have the bundle, then I think you should be able to download it now for TradingView, TradeStation, and Thinkorswim. So that's probably the easiest place to go get it. And then if you're part of the Sector Secrets Mastery or the Futures Room, it's that this particular indicator has been there for a really long time. So we'll be putting the JT Multi on TradingView, which we have already, obviously, the Pine script for, but we will be getting that on TradingView as well. And I've been using TradingView a whole heck of a lot more. As far as the volume indicator goes, that's a free one. You guys know I love free tools, and when I can either offer you or point you in the direction of awesome free tools, I love to. This one's built into TradingView, gang. TradingView is a unbelievably robust, fantastic platform. Been using it for a lot of years now. And that one's just the volume profile tool that's built into TradingView. So you can activate that whenever you'd like. How can I get the JT trend on my TradingView? Zane, if you're in the Sector Secrets Mastery, the Pine script is there for you to copy and paste and activate. So I'll be in. So I don't know what you just joined. You mean the show or one of the memberships? But we have them available in the bundle and in the futures room and in the mastery. Okay. So thanks for the question. I appreciate the interest because that JT Multi is a game changer. I will tell you, it's probably one of the most important tools any trend trader could use. And no hyperbole. I'm being quite frank. It's really a heck of a game changer. All right. So Darvis works. TH, does Darvis work? No. I know. Wait a minute, Rob. What do you mean Darvis doesn't work? Darvis, I don't use Nicholas Darvis's process for Darvis. In fact, the reason I call it Darvis 2.0 and Darvis 3.0 is because I'm paying homage to where the concept for using minor highs and lows to create the formation came from. So there's candle patterns and a specific candle count that I believe is part of a really good Darvis formation, the box, right? But the truth of the matter is Darvis was a breakout trader and I eschew breakout trading. So you might say, well, gosh, Rog, you're saying Darvis doesn't work? It depends on the look back, but Darvis does not have a high percentage of success depending on the underlying market environment. But that's everything. You've got to use the right tool for the right job, the right club for the right shot, right? The right lure for the right bait for the right fish, however you want to take that analogy out. But here's the thing. The process is really, really great to automate support and resistance. So I'm not using Darvis as a system, as a standalone methodology. I'm using Darvis as the process by which I automatically, objectively identify support and resistance. And you can see it. Let's see, do I have Darvis on this right here? So I run Darvis on just about everything that I, on all the different platforms. And let's see, here's Darvis on TradeStation, automatically identifying support and resistance. It takes a step of subjectivity out of your trading. So I don't use Darvis in the strict interpretation of and I'm a huge Nicholas Darvis fan. I love his work. I think it's hugely influential. A lot of people are probably influenced by it, whether they know it or not. But no, I do not blindly adhere to the same process. But we've modernized the Darvis, so it works beyond what he had discussed in his books in the 60s. And so, yeah, it's amazing for support and resistance. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, TH, thanks. Thanks for the question. All right. Let's see. Hang on. Let me scroll down. Bear with me. Okay, I cleared it up. Excellent. 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 Let's see. Hey there, Kip. I have some triple Qs, August 18, 366 puts. How do I know where they'll open at 9:30? Let the bell ring. I don't have, so how do you know where they're going to open? I mean, look, you've got some puts. They should open fairly nicely based on what we're seeing on the NAS. Yeah, but look, if you have the second wave of the retail sales reaction that we saw at 8:30, likely potentially playing out in the first 5 to 15 minutes, I would see if you can, get a little bit more juice out of that squeeze. So I'm not short. I'm not shorting, but I hope that your puts work really, really well, because what that's going to do is close the distance to where ultimately I need to be for my long calls. So that's where I think a lot of traders think, oh gosh, long call versus long puts, they're on opposite sides of the market. Not really. We're just on opposite sides of momentum. So yeah, I would see if we're gonna get a second reaction to the 9:30 to the retail sales number, that could be an interesting one. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Next question. Good morning from South Korea. Good morning. I spent, it's been quite a few years, but I spent 2.5 weeks in South Korea on a book/Forex tour a number of years ago. Loved my time there. We were in Seoul, of course, and we were in for a few days, which I loved, Busan. And I loved Busan. What a cool, and probably the best vegetables and fruits especially I've ever had in my life. Ever. Of course, the sushi was amazing and the barbecue and all that stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time there. Good morning. Let's see. Peloton. Sure. Hey there, Christian. Peloton. So not a trend. Heading down towards the point of control and the 200 period exponential propped up propulsion. I'm really not getting a lot of help from the V-score at all. Not yet. Could be interesting just below the mean, but around the mean to about -3.0 reading on the V-score could be interesting. So be careful. It's more of a fade. What do I mean by that? When we reach a support level in PTON, what I am expecting is likely a little bit of support, right? A little bit of support. So, what would be great in this environment? If you see yellow on the JT, the lower JT multi, ready, aim, fire, slow stochastic for those of you don't have it, right? But once you're in chop, that's really what you're looking at. Where is it oversold? Where is the support? So I've got price levels, and now, an indicator confirmation would be great. I hope that helps. So not a trend follow, but it could be an interesting fade. And I think every now and then, and I know in the mastery, when I put out a trade like gold, which was a fade, or crude, which is a fade, we had IWM as a buy fade. All these are things that have been on our radar. And a lot of times people say, wait a minute, Rog, what about double green? And yes, 3/4 of my book is almost always going to be double green. However, I'm open to maybe a handful, 25% of open positions, which I usually don't have more than 8 or 9 at a time, kind of like manning a baseball field with the players. That's where, from a risk of ruin standpoint and from just a sheer attention standpoint, that's about my threshold. Risk of ruin is far more important. That's about my threshold, 8 to 9 positions max. Most of those should be double green, trend following, dominated. That's what my book should be. But there is an opportunity for a handful of fades. This one could be an interesting one. So thanks for the question. Let's see what we have here. Do not forget the San Francisco Giants. I just love baseball. Yeah, I do love baseball. I probably love the idea of baseball. It's funny when I think about my love of sports, sometimes it's not even watching the sports that I love. For example, with football, one of my favorite football books on my bookshelf is a book called Crunching Numbers, which is the math behind putting together a football team, working with the salary cap, things like that. When it comes to baseball, I love H.A. Dorfman books on coaching, pitching, hitting. So I think sometimes it's the stuff behind the scenes in sports that I love. All right, next up, I understand the paper cut risk management idea. Hey there, Mark. Good morning. But it seems I'm stopped out by a couple of points and the market jumps up. Mark, if you understand the paper cuts concept, you're in the Sector Secrets Mastery. So that's what's happening. Here's where It's very important because we haven't had a lot of paper cuts. We just had one in Starbucks. So two things. Agro level entries are susceptible to being the first to go. If an agro entry gets stopped out, that doesn't mean the trade is no longer valid. It simply means the agro, most aggressive entry is no longer valid. Please remember, we've got the Q&A live tomorrow, Wednesday, right after Charts and Coffee. So Mark, definitely bring up what your challenges are, because I'm a firm believer if you're having some of these challenges, you're not alone amongst the many, many members that we have. So definitely bring it up. I love talking about losses. You know this if you're part of Sector Secrets. I spend an inordinate amount of time talking about losses. Luckily, we don't have that many. However, talking about wins never helps. Yeah, we took profits in TLT, Pepsi. We had a lot of, but it's the losses, because I firmly believe, as my father-in-law likes to say, two things: trauma teaches, and completely unrelated, if you're going to be dumb, you better be tough. Those are my favorite father-in-law isms. But if you're having some challenges, bring it up. Please do. But remember, it's okay to let an agro leg of the trade go. And I'm speaking of go, I've got to go and get into the futures room here. But put an alert. I don't place a physical order to exit. So place an alert in that area. Okay. But definitely bring that up tomorrow. Thank you for mentioning it. The best advice I can give you is make sure you're actually entering the trades when the trigger goes off with bearish momentum, because the cost of the option is a very important part of our risk management and our position management, and ultimately the way in which we can withstand those troughs as the market pulls back into our zone. So definitely bring it up tomorrow. I'm going to head on over to the futures room. We're going to do some day trading this morning. I'll be keeping an eye on what's going on in the Sector Secrets room. I know you guys have been doing quite a bit of day trading there based on the day trading playbook, which I think a lot of you are seeing why we added the signals to the indicators, because I'm so thrilled when I see you guys seeing the setups. So I'll be keeping an eye on both rooms. I'll see you on the futures room shortly. Thank you as always for being a part of Charts and Coffee. All right, gang, let's get after it. I'll see you tomorrow. Be good to each other.